Flirtatious, flirtatious, flirtatious. As an adjective, this means behaving in such a way as to suggest a playful sexual attraction to someone. For example, if I were to say to a woman, "Wow, you've got a very, very nice face. You've got some very sexy lips." That would be flirtatious, and I'm playfully saying it. I'm not saying directly, "Hi, you're very sexy. I would like us to have sex." Now that wouldn't be flirtatious or playful. Right, let's have a look at some example sentences. He was being a little flirtatious tonight. I liked it. He was being a little flirtatious tonight. I liked it. I didn't like her being so flirtatious, but I forgive her. I didn't like her being so flirtatious, but I forgive her. I'm going to be flirtatious tonight. I'm going to be flirtatious tonight. Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. As an adjective, this means impudent or irreverent, typically in an endearing or amusing way. So this is like being dismissive or acting kind of cool or like you're not interested, but usually in a funny or a cute way. So for example, my girlfriend could ask me if I want some popcorn, and I might slap it out of her hand and say, "No, I don't want any." Look at her in the eyes and give her a silly look. And then when she pulls it away from me, I might grab some of the popcorn out of her hand. That would be cheeky. It would be a little bit funny and endearing. But if I were to just take the popcorn without her having asked me and not look at her, and then when she looks at me, I look at her, my face is angry, I have an angry face, should I say, that wouldn't be cheeky. That would be, upsetting. That would be offensive, I would say. Let's have a look at some example sentences. She was being very cheeky last night. I loved it. She was being very cheeky last night. I loved it. He's a cheeky man. He's a cheeky man. She can be cheeky sometimes. She can be cheeky sometimes. Intelligent. 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 As an adjective, this means having or showing intelligence, especially of a high level. Well, that's hard to explain in a more simple way, but intelligence just means like ability to think and having a high level of thinking, being able to explain concepts and understand concepts. So someone who is intelligent would probably be very good at chess. If they had a little bit of experience playing it, they'd be able to learn faster than the average person. They'd be able to plan better. They'd be able to think of things that were more superb than things other people could think of. Intelligent. Right, let's have a look at some example sentences. I can see her analyzing my every move. She's so intelligent. I can see her analyzing my every move. She's so intelligent. I need to be more intelligent in order to seduce her. I need to be more intelligent in order to seduce her. I'm not sure if my romantic choices are intelligent or not. I'm not sure if my romantic choices are intelligent or not. Sincere, sincere, sincere. As an adjective, this means free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings. Something sincere, basically, it just means it's not a lie. It just means it's comes straight from the heart. It's a very direct expression of your feelings, and it's expressed in a way as, if you ask a child after you give them ice cream if they're happy, and they don't even say anything, they just have an extremely happy smile and happy eyes, and you can see that they just love the world. You can see that they are sincere in their emotions and that they are genuinely happy in that moment. And that is what sincere is. Right, let's have a look at some example sentences. She gave me a sincere smile. She gave me a sincere smile. He was very sincere when talking about his emotions. He was very sincere when talking about his emotions. I just want us to be sincere in our love for each other. I just want us to be sincere in our love for each other. Magical, magical, magical. As an adjective, this means relating to, using, or resembling magic, and it also means beautiful or delightful in such a way as to seem removed from everyday life. So, in the first example, we could say that we've got a magical wand, a wand that is used for magical rituals or magical spells, or that we have a magical potion that could do something magical. I don't know, maybe it could bless you with eternal life, because that's magic, right? And the second meaning is basically to say that something is so beautiful or delightful that it is like magic, and it's like something that's not a part of normal reality or everyday life. Right, let's have a look at some example sentences. The way she made me feel last night was truly magical. The way she made me feel last night was truly magical. He made me believe every word he said. It was truly magical. He made me believe every word he said. It was truly magical. The way she kissed me was magical. The way she kissed me was magical. He hugged me in a magical way. He hugged me in a magical way. Generous, generous, generous. As an adjective, when referring to a person, this means showing a readiness to give more of something, as money or time, than is strictly necessary or expected. So, for example, perhaps you pay $3 for a meal, and the tip that you give is $150. Now, it is not necessary to give a tip to begin with, but $150 is an excessive amount to give as a tip for a $3 meal. So this would be very generous. It might be that you see somebody who's upset and in need, and they just need, some words, kind words, and you give them your time, and then after you see they're happy, maybe you give them even more time because you're a generous person, right? Because you're generous. Let's have a look at some examples. That man is generous. He donates a lot of money to the homeless. That man is generous. He donates a lot of money to the homeless. She's a generous lover. She always thinks about my needs. She's a generous lover. She always thinks about my needs. It was generous of him to give me his time like that. Sorry, I'll say that again. It was generous of him to give me his time like that. It was generous of him to give me his time like that. Imaginative, imaginative, imaginative. As an adjective, this means having or showing creativity or inventiveness. So let's say, for example, I told you a story about a dragon that could only eat spicy food. That's quite a creative story, and it shows that I am imaginative. If I could make such a great story, I would be anyway. It would be very imaginative to make a castle out of paper. That would be a creative and imaginative pursuit, right? Let's have a look at some examples, eh? He is quite imaginative. I find that exciting. He is quite imaginative. I find that exciting. He is imaginative when thinking about our future. I find that very reassuring. He is imaginative when thinking about our future. I find that very reassuring. That artist is imaginative. That artist is imaginative. Dependable, dependable, dependable. As an adjective, this means trustworthy and reliable. Quite a simple explanation, but I'll give you another simple explanation. Essentially, if you said to somebody, hey, I want you to be here 6 a.m. every day to help me for an hour, and they did that for 20 years, you could say they were very dependable, extremely dependable, because they're reliable. And if you were to say, look, I'm going to give you $100,000, give me it back in 3 weeks' time, and you could trust them to keep that $100,000, and 3 weeks later they gave you it back, you could definitely say they were trustworthy and therefore dependable. Right? Let's have a look at some examples. She's dependable and I can always trust what she says. She's dependable and I can always trust what she says. I hope he is dependable. I hope he is dependable. My family are very dependable. My family are very dependable. Bewitching, bewitching, bewitching. As an adjective, this means enchanting or delightful. So we could say that someone has a bewitching presence. That means that, they enchant the world. They light up a room around them and they're a joy to have around. Or we can say that an activity is bewitching because it's so enjoyable and delightful, right? Let's have a look at some example sentences for this word. The way they talk is bewitching. The way they talk is bewitching. Her hands are soft and bewitching. Her hands are soft and bewitching. His movements and his touch are bewitching. His movements and his touch are bewitching. It's bewitching to hear you speak. It's bewitching to hear you speak. Gushing, gushing, gushing. This as an adjective when referring to speech or writing means effusive or exaggeratedly enthusiastic. We can also informally use this to refer to how someone's feeling, or you could say that someone's gushing over somebody else. That means that they're really in love, really enamored with them. But we can also say, exaggeratedly enthusiastic, gushing. Like I might say, I absolutely love this meal. I'd be gushing because I'm so enthusiastic, right? Let's have a look at some example sentences. He was gushing praise at me. He was gushing praise at me. She was gushing to speak to me. She was gushing to speak to me. The way they talk is gushing. The way they talk is gushing.